Welcome to our Women's World discussion this Thursday morning. So today we look at pregnancy and the first year of having a baby, looking at the bliss and the blues of this beautiful journey. Let's welcome this morning Ruth Stennett, founder of the Broken to Be Beautified Women of God, to discuss that topic. And we may or may not have someone joining us online, but in the meantime, we jump right into it. Good morning.
Good morning.
So first of all, people are probably wondering, all right, we're going to talk about that with the, talking about the first year of baby and so on. Do you have children, Ruth?
Yes, I have one daughter.
One daughter, all right. Is still a baby or not so much a baby?
No, not a baby at all. She is 12.
Oh, she's 12.
12, I tell people 12 going 45.
Yes, so normally that's the age when they're going 45 though.
12.
But let's just scale back a couple years back and really start off by getting an idea of what the first year journey for you into motherhood was like.
Into motherhood, okay. So of course, you know, there is no manual. It's the only job that we have that there is no manual. But thankfully, I had the support of my mom and other ladies. I remember I work with seniors, and I had this senior, Mrs. Mott. So she was there with me, and my mom was there with me, other ladies were there with me. They would say, when you get up, I'm a Christian, so I do nothing without prayer. So she would say, pray over your baby and speak to her intelligently. No gaga, boo-boo, nothing.
Yes.
Right, and you would see her responses as time went by. Well, she was born in January, so I think it was kind of easier in terms of, you know, that it's the colder time, so you would have to clothe her a particular way. As it got to the summer times, you know, you take off less of the cloak and so on. But it was good. It was good.
For the most part?
It was good for the most part. There were challenges, but it was good for the most
And we
part.
may want to bring those up because we're discussing that whole first year, but let's scale it even further back to your pregnancy and the trimesters and how you managed through each of those, that kind of thing. Were there, you know, differences? Was there any harder periods and so on? Tell us how that worked out for you.
Even though it was a while back, I still remember it. It was like a long time ago.
I don't think we don't forget.
No, we don't forget. But the earlier months, thankfully, I did not have morning sickness. I think it was once where, because I would eat regularly at different intervals. So I did not have morning sickness. It was a sleeping for me. It was a sleeping. So you were used to sleeping normally, and then you have to start sleeping on your side. And then you start to have to use a pillow for comfort.
Yes.
So for the whole thing, it was, and getting used to it. I remember I was at work when I felt the first movement. Like, but wait a while, going right?
Yes.
But you felt the fluttering, and when you would speak, you know, the responses. Jada loved Milo. Love Milo. So there was a particular time at night that I would drink Milo, and she would just somersault and you see her hand on her foot, and you know, but it was good for me.
Good for you.
And then when people would say, oh, it's your first pregnancy, and you're like, oh my God. When they say it's your first pregnancy, it's like, oh, expect the worst.
Yes.
So, but everybody has their own experience.
Yeah, and I think that's important for us to remember. And then postpartum, were there any issues where that was concerned in the sense of after Jada was born, and especially that first couple months of the baby, how was that transition? Because that's really when the work, I mean, the work starts from from you know, and you've conceived, but you know, actual now having to jump into that.
I'm looking on the picture on the wall with the feet.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh my God. Because I remember when she was born, you know, I had a little challenge, and my mom was in the room, thankfully, because I was a little.
When you say a little challenge, what was that?
In terms of relating to her, in terms of, okay, this is now a human being.
Yes.
You can touch her, you can feel her. She's not in your tummy anymore.
Right.
You have to ensure that, you know, she's fed properly, burped. Is it, she crying and you don't know what she's crying for? Is it that her pampers needs to be changed? So you have to learn the different cries, the different moods. She doesn't want to be held down. She wants to be held up. She needs to be burped, that type of thing. So you had a lot of adjusting to do. And then the sleeping patterns, oh my word. You know, you'll be up and you probably, because she's up, you have to give her all the attention. And then she falls asleep, and then you're like, okay, I need to wash the bottles, I need to wash the clothes,
Which is,
and then by the time you finish, she's awake.
Yes.
And then you're feeding her and you're falling asleep.
Yes,
and,
yes.
You know, so as I said, I was happy to have my mom because she was there through.
Yeah, family support.
Sometimes I'm breastfeeding and I fall asleep, and she would be there to
support you.
Support, right.
I think, so what would you say would be one of the things that we do not pay attention to or speak a lot about regarding pregnancy and, of course, that first year for children? A lot of times when women get to the position of actually realizing that they're pregnant and going through and having had the child, for those who have carried the child full term, because then that's another story. You know, you have some women who unfortunately have miscarriages or stillbirths, or who may have lost their child a couple months after the baby, that kind of thing. But for you, having gone through that process, and you kind of going back and remembering, what would you think or say is what's something that we don't really put a lot of attention to, for motherhood, pregnancy?
All right, so having support.
We don't pay much attention on the importance
not everybody,
of support.
Yeah, the support, having, just being open. Some persons get pregnant, they don't want the child. How do you feel? Find somebody that you can relate to. Preparing yourself, reading, talking to other persons. I had a very good friend, Marco. Her son was born the 7th of July. Jada was the 7th of January. So having her there to go through and say, okay, expect this, expect that. Some persons, it's just about the bliss and, I'm going to have a child, but we don't pay attention to, bonding and having that support and continuing to just talk to persons and, express how you feel. Because as a mother, there's a lot going through your mind.
Yes.
There is a lot. Am I going to do this right? Is the support there? Am I going to drop the child? A lot of things go through your mind.
Right. We have Ruth Ann Sterling Blair online with us now. Ruth Ann, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Good morning.
Hey. Hi, not hearing you so well, Ruth Ann.
Yes, are you hearing me now?
I am just a little bit low here on the floor. All right, so Ruth Ann, we were actually in conversations with Ruth. It's two Ruths this morning, right? Ruth Ann and Ruth, yes. But we were actually discussing, just the whole process of being pregnancy and the first year after your child is born and that process. Are you a mother yourself, Ruth Ann?
Yes, I am a mother of 3.
Oh, wow. And what are the age groups of your children? What are the ages?
All right, so I have an 8-year-old son, a 4-year-old daughter, and a 2-week-old daughter.
Did you say 2 weeks?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, listen. So we were here reminiscing, right? Myself and Ruth included have older children, but we are excited to bring you into the conversation because you just did it just a while ago, really.
Yes.
Congratulations on the newborn.
Thank you.
And so, this would be a good time to talk. I was talking to Ruth about her experiences, during pregnancy, and postpartum and so forth. Can you kind of bring us back first to your first child and then give us a little bit about what it has been like for each child and then this newborn?
All right, sure.
Most recent, yes.
Sure. Good morning again. Good morning, viewers.
Morning.
With the first pregnancy, it was a triplet. So it was kind of
No. Sorry, I cannot pretend like I never heard it just so. Did you say... In my first pregnancy, there were triplets equal 1, 2, 3, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, continue. You're a superwoman. You should have told me that.
It was super hectic for me. The reason for this is because I didn't have any support behind, a strong support system. I was going through stress emotionally and stuff like that. So it ended up in a premature labor. So I didn't have anybody strong around me. I was going through it alone, me and the partner that I was with at the time. That was the only person I had at the time. So we were just going through the moments and, going through the stress. And it dawned on me because I didn't have any support, any mother, any father around at the time to support me because I kept it to myself. I didn't bring the family into it that, hey, I was pregnant or anything. But with the second pregnancy, it was way much better because I had my grandmother, I had my husband, and they were so supportive of me. And even with the last pregnancy here, I got super support. Even with Ruth beside you, we're in a group called Broken to be Beautified, and those women, they empower me whenever I'm down. I can call upon them. We pray together. They uplift my spirit, my families, my aunts. Everybody was there. My husband, mother, she was there to support me well emotionally and physically as well. So this one was super easy for me, and we just have to give thanks.
Indeed. Okay, so that was actually a point that Ruth spoke about, the fact that one of the main things that really makes a difference in you being able to manage through your pregnancy and, of course, the first year of having your child is indeed the support. But even so, as a mother of multiples, you know, how did your body change during that process? Was there a lot of stress and pressure on you? Was there need to be, can you scale that part for us a little bit?
Yes, especially after the first pregnancy, my tummy got big and I was losing confidence in myself because, you know, it was kind of a sweet moment for me because, yeah, you can look at your baby and you're happy about your baby, but then when you look at your body, how it has changed dramatically after having triplets.
Yes.
You know, it was kind of down moment for me. Because even when I'm walking on the road, persons will say, hey, put the baby mother in the car. And I know I'm not pregnant. So, you know, it messed with me emotionally. But with the help of my husband, he helped me to encourage me, helped me to exercise, give exercising tips and so forth. So I was able to lose that weight after the first pregnancy. After the second one, it wasn't so bad because my body was back on track. So, and just as this one is 2 weeks old, so, you know, I'm in the process of getting back together.
All right, beautiful. And you brought that up because that's a very big point. Women tend to act as though, you know, some of us don't talk a lot about what we go through. I remember I used to write an article called Young Mommy Diaries, and one of the articles I wrote was, where did my breast go? Because many times, women, you know, our bodies are ours, right? And though it's a statement of, you know, beauty, and we like looking the way we come up and, you know, young and fresh, and then we have a child and our body just totally changes, and we literally watch the not breakdown, but the changes that take place. And so to hear you speak about that, do you think that actual space, and Ruth, I know I wanted to bring that to you also, do you find that we do not spend a lot of time just talking about the truths of pregnancy? Because we tend to like to post the photo shoots of the beautiful background in makeup and the filter, but we're not showing the stretch marks, and are we not showing the talking a lot about the breast size change that may or may not come back or differ the way, you know? Do you think we do not spend a lot of time really talking about the truths that women have to go through and experience during pregnancy and after?
Right, yes. As I alluded to earlier, the expression of self, how do you feel?
How do you feel?
How do you feel about the changes in your body? Because, you know, you have mood swings. 1 minute you're okay, especially some persons after having the baby, you're so depressed, you cry. So that's why I said it
more
is
than
important.
Because I've heard something. We don't speak a lot about. I'm sorry to stop you, but didn't want the point to just leave, because just to bring out that idea of understanding postpartum is literally something that some women either try to take their lives
or the
baby's life, totally disconnect, that kind of thing. But yes, you were saying.
But that's why I'm saying it is important, one, to have a relationship with the Lord, as in, He knows, He sees, He understands. He sends help and supports persons around you on a regular basis. Even just a call to come and sit with you, to say, okay, you go sleep, I'll help you, I'll babysit for a while. So I believe contact is very important. Expression of self. Be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. I mean, the world is so excited. And then the other thing too, everybody forgets you. And
It's
everybody
always
is
about
all
the
about,
baby.
what them call, so how the baby?
Yeah.
Them sleeping through the night and who asks,
Nobody
are
asks,
you
how are you?
sleeping through the night?
Yeah.
Are you eating properly? What do you need help with? So again, I say it's important to have support, have persons around you who understand, they have been there.
Yes.
You know, older persons. I work with seniors. I love seniors, and they're always there to give support. Always there, even though at work, you know, a senior was stopped by my office. How is Jada? Jada okay? Jada must get big now. You know, so it gets to a stage where you no longer feel like, oh, you're neglected and nobody cares about you anymore. So this is good.
Yes.
I'm a mom, and other women have
Checking
been
in.
there, and they appreciate what you have done and what you are doing as a mom. Because as I said before, it don't come with a manual. It's the
None of
only
them.
job that does not come with a job description or a manual.
Yes,
So,
indeed. And Ruth Ann, I'm sure the manual would have been different for your 3 pregnancies. Can you just give us a bit of bringing us through, since yours is so more recent than ours, the first year, what would you say are the most important things for the first year of that child's life?
All right, so for the first year of a child's
And why?
life,
Mm-hmm.
I think bonding is very important, bonding with your baby, because as you know, this is a new life, and they are in a new environment. Be able to bond, make them feel loved all the time. And I think this is where self-esteem starts from for the baby.
yeah.
And so on to that point, and I'm happy she started there, because
Right.
we tend to think, as you said, the goo gaga, and that children aren't, you know, already almost like a sponge receiving everything. And she said one of the things is that, you know, that is actually where you start molding a child.
That's right.
Their confidence, everything about how you want the child to be starts with the attention you give the child. Or if you do not give the attention, you know, what the outcomes can look like. So we spoke a lot about, you know, the part that, yes, there's the whole getting ready for the, you know, the bliss aspect of it. But then there's the flip side, which is the blues side of it. And that includes things like postpartum and so on. One of the major things I recall, I don't know if you can shed some light on that, is the importance of, as you said, the help, but women feeling they must do everything. So when being offered the help psychologically, a lot of women do not take it.
That is true.
And I remember one of the things someone told me was, Tammy, whenever somebody suggests that they want to come and give you some help, take it.
Take it.
Do not say no. Because we have this thing like, okay, put the baby to sleep,
Yes.
and then we go and wash the clothes.
That is
But then
right.
that's when you should be resting, with the baby.
With the
So
baby.
Ruth, I hear that you're back on with us. Ruth Ann?
Yes, I am.
Right. So you were talking about the first year of that child's life, and I asked about some important points that you thought would be worth mentioning and why. And you started off saying, I think where we lost you, you were speaking to the fact that you know, that is where you actually start helping a child, molding the child to be a confident child and so forth. So you could probably just continue from there on.
Yes, I was speaking as it relates to bonding with your baby, and bonding. Persons normally tend to think, though, oh, you bond with the child when you breastfeed, and mommy and the baby is the only person that can bond. The father should bond with that child as well. Give them some time. Even in the night, you need help yourself as a mother, because you know your nights are sleepless. What my husband normally does, especially with my first daughter, whenever I'm sleeping and he hears the baby, he would like take out my breast to feed the child while I'm there sleeping. So, you know,
Yes.
it is very important to have a strong support system, especially during the first time, because sometimes, even after birth, you may feel depressed and you don't even know what you are depressed about. So sometimes, because even last week I felt depressed, and I call upon Ruth and some of the other girls and say, hey, pray for me because I'm feeling depressed, but I don't know what I'm depressed about. Me just feel
Indeed,
down.
hormones
You know?
all over the place.
Oh, Lord.
Right. So you just have to have some strong persons in your corner have a strong family background behind you. If you don't, just find somebody who you're comfortable with, and especially find a mother that has been through what you've just been through, so they can share, the same experience with you and encourage you and to put you back on track. So those things are very important during the child's first life.
The first year. And I know, and I know that you spoke about your husband, but unfortunately there are women who do not have that support, and the family support is just not there either. There are some people who don't have family support. They don't have the support of their significant other, and so sometimes the journey is even more rough. But I think we can, what are some of your suggestions for women like that? How can they seek help outside of what should have been the first place to go?
Family member. You must have a family member. You probably have somebody in the community that you looked up to. That was a mom. Even a friend. Never ending. Or even your schoolmates, just find somebody who you can trust. And as I said, just open up, express how you feel. I mean, I always talk about the seniors. There's something when a senior or older person sees a pregnant woman, there is a connection. So again, I'm about prayer. Pray and ask God. God always sends help. He always does. As Ruthann alluded to the fact of our group, Broken to be Beautified, the group is dynamic. We have Derry, who has 3 children, 3 boys, a teenager, one is 12, 13, 9, and 4. So, the different levels of, relating to the child, giving the child support. Arlene is a single mom with a 12-year-old, like myself, with a daughter who is a 12-year-old. We have Ruthann, who is just a recent mom. We have Tamika, who isn't a mom as yet. So we are able to come together and we're able to share our experiences, the highs and the lows, and say, okay, let's come together and pray about this situation. And we pray and we see, the changes, the responses, God showing up for us and helping us at different stages. Because motherhood is not important. You are shaping somebody else's life. You are molding them. And even for motherhood, you have to teach your children to know God for themselves, to understand. And whatever comes throughout life, whether it be a situation at school, whether it be even when they get to that stage of pregnancy, they're able to look back and say, okay, mom did this. These ladies that were around did that. Because for me, my mom died 2 years ago. If I'm to have another child again, I am wondering, okay, yes, I know there are other persons that are around, but there's something special about a mom's love, your own mother's love, because I didn't know what it was to send my daughter to a daycare. Oh Lord, that is the next story.
Because, and I'm saying, and so you're suggesting, that if there is a mother who doesn't have the direct family support, she should seek out support, whether from friends, community members, and so on. But the support is what is important. Good support. So if you don't have your family members around, then you can jump in. I don't know, Ruthann, do you have any parting words for a mom that's going through that first trimester, the first year, the pregnancy, or the first year of the baby's life? Any parting words, anything you want to say to women who are watching and just might need some encouragement this morning?
Yes, I do. What I would like to say to the mothers is the loveliest masterpiece of the heart of God is the heart of being a mother, because many times women, especially who doesn't have a support system behind them, tend to go through stress, tend to think suicidal, tend to think to hurt the baby. Just believe that you were chosen to be a mother for a purpose.
Awesome. You're chosen.
And pray about it.
You were chosen to be a mother for a purpose. All right. Well, thank you, Ruthann Sterling Blair and Ruth Dennett, for joining us this morning here on Sunrise, discussing this important discussion. That's it for Women's World. Stay with us. Sunrise continues right after these messages.